Hey guys, it's Dustin here, Dutch Boy Adventures, and it's been raining a lot here, south central Pennsylvania, and the northeastern part of Pennsylvania as well, for about the last 2 weeks on and off. So we've had some good days, but they're just kind of few and far between. So what I've been doing is working on my shadow boxes of the relics and coins and things that I've got over the last few months. So I've added to them the things that I kind of threw, you throw into your junk box until you're ready to deal with it. So let's go ahead and look at some of the things I have. And then at the end, I'm going to need your help on two items, I think. So let's look at this. And this will be a short video, just short and sweet, show you some goodies, and we'll move on. All right, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys, first thing we have up here is a little bit of horse and farm stuff. We have some crowdle bells, an intact one, a 3/4 one, and then a quarter of one, basically the top piece. Nice little horse rosette, looks like a guide there. Um, some horseshoes, some horse tack. I think that could be a bull ring because it doesn't look like, your regular horse rings. Same with that one there. Also, you have some tack that goes into the horseshoes. And it's just a little thing I threw together with some oddball stuff. But anyways, the bells are always nice. Everyone likes getting a girdle bell. Um, I always like getting them. So then the next thing we come to will be kind of like my mismatched, another catch-all, but not as like the horse one's more categorized, but this is just whatever. So up here we have part of a old watch. We have old Tootsie toy, old nail, some. This is a really really nice knife. Probably a case from back in the day, 30s, 40s. Just some other little relics and things that are oddballs that don't really go with anything. Let me move some of this stuff here. Sorry about that. Don't want to hide some of these things. So, anyways, as you look at that, you got your harmonica reeds. We find them everywhere. Pretty much any 1800s home site, early 1900s, they're going to have some harmonica reeds. Got your good old skeleton key, vintage Kodak film case. I don't know what that's to, but that's really, really, really nice decoration on there. I found that at my mom's farmhouse up in New York. Old lipstick case. Yeah, so if you guys know what this is here, not that, right here. If you know what that is, let me know. I have no idea. Handle to an old box or something. Model A or Model T Ford valve stem. A Avon compact case. Part of another case. Just a bunch of other little random things. This I don't know, but it's not like tangled up. It's made that way. It's part of something. So just some really cool stuff. Your odds and ends stuff. All right. So then this is a new box. I've now had enough to make. With the last clay marble I found, I decided to make a little marble box. And the significance of this is these are surface finds. Only this one here did I ever find in a hole. That was with a bunch of other garbage. And the rest of these are all surface finds, including this big shooter here, which I found on the Union side of the mountain in Maryland at out in Boonesboro or whatever it's called. I think that was Antietam. I'm not sure, but one of the old battlefields, not the battlefield, but the camp. That was in a Union camp. The rest are just various sites. The one is from the 1700s site that I was just at up in Shirleysburg. Some beautiful marbles. Look at that. I don't know much about marbles, so I don't know what is old, what's good, what's bad. I know I see glass, bubbles in some of these, which is really cool. I just know they're old and I like them. All right, our next little bit here is the few Civil War relics that I do have. The few times I've been able to hunt on any kind of Civil War stuff. Turn this off now. This is a Dragoon button, and that is from. I got that with a friend of mine, Dwayne. We were in Carlisle, and that's from when the Confederates were shelling Carlisle. It's not a Confederate button, but I'm just saying that's it. That's the area. I got that in Gettysburg back in 2015. I got that in Virginia, Sailor's Creek. Same as that was in Sailor's Creek. It's a mule shoe. This spike is from the railroad, the mini railroad that used to be for tourists at Gettysburg. They tore it down because it was in the park and they eventually tore it down. But that's what this little spike is from the tourist rail line that went through there and was taken down. I'm not sure, the early 1900s or somewhere in there, 30s. And you come over here and we have all of the utensils. This is my favorite one. I just found it this year, and it's not anything special, but it's from World War II. My wife looked it up. It's from 1941, and just really nice. I found that in a farm field laying down with the U.S. side down, so when I flipped it over, it was like, oh, wow. Here's a very old knife, because it had wood here, and it had a wood handle here on this utensil. I think they're both from the 1898 camp, the Spanish-American War camp. That's where I found each of these, but there's no markings to date them. I got little bits of, like, here's a pewter. Hot down, man. There's a pewter utensil handle. I got a couple of them. We got some old bottle stoppers in here from the 1800s, 1900s. Old forks, stuff like that. So I just got enough that I could do a box and figured, why not do it? And we go over here and we have some ordnance, old ordnance. The newest stuff here, that's from the 1898 Span Am camp. I threw a couple of them in there just to throw them in. The rest are from Civil War time period, not the Civil War, and earlier in the colonial time period. You have these musket balls, largies, and then some random melted lead. But yeah, so the musket balls are the oldest, but there's a lot of really old stuff in there. I like musket balls. I don't like when they're all smashed, but I like them when they dropped or petered out. But anyways, for you guys that like old ordnance and ammunition, there you go. This is from my last dig with Big Jerry. So I just started this box and we'll be adding to it. But anyways, there's a porcelain button. There's an old 1700s suspender clip, an old buckle from the 1800s, some musket balls from the 1700s, or pistol musket balls, and a piece of old jewelry, I think. Then we come over here, and this is pretty historic, and I really enjoy this little thing here. When I got it, the arrows that were on there were from my stepfather. He gave them to me. Interesting story. He worked for McDonnell Douglas, and he worked on the Apache helicopter when it first came out, I guess in the late 70s. I'm thinking that's when it was. I might be off on that. But they went to the reservation, and he was the one that worked with them on the reservation to do quality control. And they actually made parts for the Apache, and that was part of what the government had worked out with them to use that name for that, is to give them some work. And so they did, and he found a lot of these surrounding arrows up there in Arizona. This is probably a Susquehannock point. Um, you know, they call them a projectile point because it's not a spear point necessarily, and it's not necessarily a arrowhead either. But it's a projectile point. It goes back, I think, about 10, 15,000 years. I found this at a dig site with a friend of mine, Mark, and we were on an island that had some pretty historic significance, and we were sifting, and I found that really cool. And this is from the Delaware Indians. I just found this on that. If you look back at the French, it's my last video. It was the French Indian War battlefield. I found that on that hunt, and that's really cool. It's a cutting tool. Show you that. And then the rest of these, like I said, were from my stepfather, and you know, just really awesome. Very appreciative of that gift he gave me, and you know, I'll be able to show that to him one day, what I'd done with that. I always wondered though, like, what were they shooting with, like, that little arrow? Were they shooting flies or what? I mean, what were they going to kill with that? That's crazy, but it's super cool. So let's get out here, and here is, let me do this, put some light back in the room now that we're over here. So over here is my buckles and buttons. So as you look here, this is one of my favorite. When I dug this, I didn't even know what to say. Look at the designs on it. So, you know, this is all the old buckles, colonial buckles. This buckle I was with, once again, a friend of mine named Dwayne. Really, really excellent hunter, detector. Maybe one day he'll do videos, but he, I tell you what, that guy can sniff out anything. But this came from a property where someone that was in the Civil War lived, and Dwayne found a lot of stuff there that was Civil War related. I can't help but think that this might be too, because I know when I looked at Confederate buckles, this was like a buckle. It looked like one of them. So if anyone knows, let me know. So anyways, yeah, this is more modern, 1950s. But then as you come through here, they're different ages, different kind of buckles, suspender clip. Really cool stuff, though, I think. Old colonial. You come up here, and the first, those top three are all jean buttons from farmers. Headlight, hip, and Hercules. Hercules was from Sears, and that goes back to the 40s. They all go back to the 30s, 40s, and 50s. We got regular old buttons. You got cuff buttons. You got this button and that button. Alright guys, so the one button I'm not certain on is this one here. And the reason being is, from my research, there should be cannonballs. If it's Civil War period, there should be cannonballs somewhere here because it's a Navy. It looks Civil War or older, but I just don't know. If you guys know, let me know. Then we'll both know. Other buttons included, you know, some cuff buttons, regular buttons, nice shanks. And then we have, and this button is in 1851. Let's see if we can get that zoomed in there for you, because it looks like a 31, but it's not. How about this? Flash some light this way. So there you go, 1851. And it's Goodyear's, but it's a novelty company. And they made that button 1851, I think in 1852, or 1851 and 1852. And then that was it. But it's plastic, and I never knew they had plastic like that back in the 1850s, but they did. I found that on the dig site on the one island that I found this projectile point and this porcelain button. We dug down about, oh man, almost 5.5, 6 feet on a foundation on an old island, and we found that. Just regular cuff buttons, some nice little ones. This button's definitely the oldest. That's pewter. So that's from the 1700s there. But anyways, those are the buttons. And we move on from those and the buckles, and we come over here. And this is the Spanish-American War Camp. This is from various sections of farmland over different permissions and properties. And this, oh, you can hear my dog. I think our delivery guy's here. This one here, sorry about that. Some of the interesting things are right here. It says patent November 30th, and it has an 80. That is an 8. And those were all used in the Spanish-American War. Now, if you find one that looks like this, then you know it predates that. And the reason why is see how it's made? There's a seam here the whole way. It's a two-piece piece that went together, and that's more than likely Civil War time period. Boy Scouts use these as well, but generally, you know, that's what this one is. And you can see the hole's even a little bit bigger than that one. But yeah, this is really old. I don't know where I got it, but I keep finding these things that are very interesting that in my haste to dig, I just throw them in the pouch and keep moving. So we'll move on from that. But one of the things I like a lot, means a lot to me, is this button here. On the bottom here, it has an N and a G. And that is the Pennsylvania coat of arms. And it's a Pennsylvania National Guard pin from the 6th or the 8th PA from that Spanish-American War Camp. I was in the National Guard, 28th Aviation, so that's one of my favorite artifacts for that, just from that standpoint. This is another National Guard medal. It says Camp Meade on the bottom, Middletown, Pennsylvania. And what's interesting about this is it has the keystone for the Keystone State. I've not seen another medal like this. They gave these out when they mustered out. I've never seen another one like this with the keystone in it. And then we have, you know, really, really nice gold gilded coat button. That's what I would think it would be. Some underwear buttons, another tent tightener, various buckles. You got your harmonica reeds. You got your belt clip. Just, you know, like here's an old ring, old lock. You know, just regular old stuff. Suspender clips, other buckles, tent grommets, all that from the camp, including the horseshoe. Pretty neat stuff, I think. Been hunting that for about 5 years now. I'm just about done with it. Done some presentations on it, and I think I'm moving on from that, from those areas. But very interesting stuff. And I do have one area that I found that no one knew the camp was on, and I just started exploring that. So we'll see what that one turns out like. So then we come over here, and we have the coins, jewelry. I think it's a peridot stone. That's what my wife told me, and it's sterling silver. Here is a Seiko ladies watch. That's the first piece of jewelry I ever found. Here is a copper, I don't know what, either a ring or a hair clip or something. This is a sterling silver and turquoise ring. We got this little gold locket here. Could have had hair in it. That's what I think it was. I think it had hair or something in there. Not a picture though. My 1700s Spanish real. A couple King Georges from the 1700s. And 1807 halfpenny. 1818 largie, and that goes up to 1839. We have some other, you know, barbers and Indian heads. This silver dime means the most to me because I found out with my son in 2015, and that's a 1875 seated dime. This is the first coin I ever found, and that is a Flying Eagle, 1858. This is a 1923 Standing Liberty, beautiful. You know, a couple Washingtons, some Mercs, some Rosies, a War Nickel, bunch of frickin' Sweeties, which I call Wheaties. Uh, Good Luck Token, the old swastika Martin Van Buren token. This is a token from 1898, 1899. This gentleman, C.H. Robinson, opened up a bread stand for the soldiers. He sold the soldiers and townspeople loaves of bread. He was only in business for the two and a half years of the camp. I had a genealogist look at that for me, and that was really cool. When she told me all that info, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And this guy had a bunch of different professions after. So, you know, back then you could just move and be an entrepreneur from business to business. A couple old turn of the century dog tags, 1914, 1917. These are either old largies or they're cow tags. Cow tag, cow tag, cow tag. And this is a really nice sterling silver spoon, and this was from a jeweler in Harrisburg. I looked that up. That was pretty cool. Now I have two last things to go over with you, and then I'm done. The first one is the dinosaur turd. This, I think, I saw it on the ground and I thought, it looks like a dinosaur turd, right? So then when I flipped it over and looked, it was like, wait, looks like a fossil maybe. So if you guys know what this is, let me know. I've always been interested what it is, and I never take it to any kind of, you know, at the flea markets, they have a guy, gemologist, I guess. I ought to take that in there. Anyways, let me know. I really, really am interested. And then last but not least, I threw this in my bag. Didn't think much of it. I don't remember digging it. I don't know where I dug it. But if you look at it, I think it's a game piece. And I can't really tell. I'm going to need your guys' help on this. I can't remember where I dug it. Had no significance. Threw it in a pouch. Threw it in my junk to be dealt with later pile. And here we are. Let me know, guys. I really, really, really want to know. I don't think it's just... Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I don't think it's just regular lead. Because, I mean, you know, here's camp lead. All right. You know, there's lead in different various stages of, you know, being hit and shot. This isn't it. I really believe it's a game piece. Someone let me know, please. All right, gang. Onward and upward to the next. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to show that to you. It's a mess down here. And hopefully you guys can help me out on that last part there, because I don't know what those two items are, and it's just racking my brain. I need help on it. I won't sleep tonight. I'll probably turn to alcohol over it. So somebody please leave me a comment. Hey, I'm getting a lot of views. A lot of you guys and gals are watching it, and man, I really appreciate it. I do it for you. Like the videos, comment anything you want if you have questions, and subscribe. You know, I'm new to this. I've only been doing it for a few months, the video part of it, but I've been detecting a long time. So, anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Get out there and dig. See ya.